no free sponsorship.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Pal Lane. Welcome to 9yrsTV, bringing you all the build up to AFC Wimbledon versus Salford City in League 2. I am Nick Draper. I'm joined today on my left by Rob Boyce, on my right George Jones and Tom Large right next to me, and we are going to get straight into some team news, I believe, and some interesting team news, I think, personally.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, just a couple of changes that seem to be in there. You all notice, I think most people will notice when they look at that straight away, no Ethan Chislett in the squad at all. I've not heard. Have any of you guys heard reasons why this might be?
To be fair, it might just be because he wants a rest. He's played every minute this year, you know what I mean? So could basically be giving him some time out because he's had quite the workload. So, but yeah.
George, you went up to Harrogate. Did Chislett come off with a knock or anything for you? Remember?
Not really. No.
Did he play the 90?
He took a couple of heavy touches where he was, when he did take hits, but nothing that would make you think he wouldn't be involved at all today, and especially nothing that you would think would keep him out of the 18.
Didn't he get subbed off for Curry, if I recall?
But that wasn't a massive hit. That didn't look like something that would keep him out. It looked like something of just, let's bring him off and tactically change it a bit.
Well, talking about tactics, because obviously when you see this, that Chislett's not in the squad, Casey McAteer, I believe, is the one that comes in for him, and it makes us wonder: do we just think it's a like for like? This is what is what Stu has put together for us. So Ali up top as normal, Casey McAteer just behind him.
That top four quite excites me. I thought DJ and Pearson were fantastic against Harrogate. That first half, I actually thought we were quite good. Second half has its own story. As Rob Boyce loves to say, tale of two halves. DJ, I thought DJ looked very good, looked skillful, and he just had a nice presence on the ball. I think he looked assured and knew what he was doing. Interesting to see after just coming back from injury, starting 2 games in a row. Two games in 4 days is quite a lot to ask. Ali, I thought, was marked out of the game a little bit against Harrogate and didn't have the impact he'd like to. But Sam Pearson is someone who I've been vocal on Twitter and among people. I just thought he was excellent. I think he played 73 minutes and he was pretty good every time he touched the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Rob, I don't know what you thought. I looked at the substitutions that we made on Friday. I guess there are reasons to do it. Did it weaken us a little bit? We lost Chislett, we lost Pearson.
I think the only problem with substitutions for me is they were a bit like for like.
Right.
Maybe when you're holding on to a 2-0 lead, it might be worth maybe going to a back five, for example, get a second half on. That's what for example, Arsenal done yesterday, but with a centre half change shape. It's a bit like for me on that side of things as well. And we took off Little from Marsh, and then we concede from a set piece, and we know Marsh isn't the tallest. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it, if Little stays on, does it give us a little bit more of aerial presence pending that set piece at the end? I don't know. But
well, the interesting thing about Little and Woodyard, who start again today, is and Tom, I don't know what you think of this, but I thought George Marsh last few games prior to Friday played well against Walsall and Rochdale.
He's been played out of position as well a lot of the time. He's been put in right back, right wing back, positions that aren't his primary position, but I thought he did alright at right back. I think he looked alright going forward, and he was defensively sound, sound enough anyway. And I think he's been unlucky.
Well, this is what I thought. I wondered if would he probably another start for him. I wondered if Marsh didn't play on Friday because we thought maybe rotation with 2 games in such a short space of time. Whether that was with that in mind, but obviously not. We've gone with Little and Woody again.
I feel like as well, like JJ constantly subs Woodyard because he feels like he gets a bit frustrated with his level of performance. But I feel like Woodyard can't put out the level of performance he's capable of because he needs a rest.
That's the thing. I think if he wasn't skipper, I think it'd be a bit more rotation. But I think he wants him, like Jordan Henderson. During the World Cup, he was he's almost a manager on the pitch. I think Woody brings that sort of expertise, but I agree. I think he needs a rest. But if he wasn't captain, I think, say for example, if Will was back captain again, or someone was back captain, I think you'd see him kind of that 3. I think would rotate a lot more.
I'll tell you what else I find interesting today. It'll be interesting to see if we do line up in a 4-2-3-1, or if we go for that 4-1-4-1 formation we've seen us play. Because you'd easily put Little alongside McAteer, for example, and Woodyard in the holding role. So, as Stu thinks we might be lining up as a 4-2-3-1, it will be interesting to see how it actually is.
I mean, I think personally, I'm not a fan of that 4-1-4-1 with Woody. I just don't think he's got the legs to play as a sole holding midfielder, and that's shown through in the last couple of weeks. I agree he probably needs a rest and certainly should have been rested at some point, either Friday or today, and given George Marsh the opportunity from the start. Or an Alfie Bendel or someone like that. But it's disappointing that that's where we are, but I do think it'll be a 4-2-3-1 to start. I think it might evolve into a 4-1-4-1 depending on what the game dictates if we have to start trying to chase it.
Just a quick one. Hello to everyone who is watching, and leave your comments on what you think about the team so far, and we'll get them up on screen and chat through them.
It's funny you should mention that, Tom, because I just noticed, we can't see it just now, but I just noticed a moment ago that we've got a hi all from the 9 Years podcast. It's kind of like that Spider-Man meme. We just put each other saying hello to everyone. So hello, us. Thank you for watching. But as Tom said, yeah, please get your comments in. I do think Spike behind the camera today was just lining up opposition today.
He's so good, Spike, isn't he?
He is.
What a man.
He's on the ball.
Seamless. Absolutely seamless.
The only problem is, can you enlarge it, Spike?
Can you make that full screen? None of us have the best eyesight.
The red text on the white background when it's small is not easy to read.
Interesting there. They've gone very strong.
Yeah.
There's some talent in that lineup, isn't there? As we know about Matty Lund, regular goal scorer at this level.
Elliot Watt as well.
And
He's got 15 assists, which is some number. Elliot Bolton, not Elliot Bolton, he's ours.
He's ours.
Ex-Manchester City.
Don't worry, everyone.
I was going to say, next we're going to say Luke Jenkins is on the bench for us, for them as well. Like.
What's that Chislett playing for?
But yeah, and also McElhaney's got a good number of goals and assists as well. So they're quite a team that attack down the wings more rather than centrally. So I think we'll be looking at that and probably be stretched at the back maybe. So I think that 4-1-4-1 might work quite nicely if you've got two midfielders who can kind of drop out to back up. I know Sam Pearson isn't the most offensively sound in terms of dropping back and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think they're a team that are going to stretch us. They like a lot of possession as well, so it could be a lot of us today watching Salford hold it in the middle and then play it out down the wings.
Yeah, and a name very familiar to Nick in leading their line with Vassell. He's someone who I think is going to cause us a lot of problems today. He's their sort of their focal point. Everything goes through him when it is going through the middle when they do go a bit more direct. It's going to be very much a difficult test. I think I'm expecting to see him he'll try and line himself up more against Will, I'd imagine, rather than Aaron Pierre. But it's going to be a different test to our back two, considering what they had last week.
Also with Matt Smith on the bench, he's quite a big lad, so that'll be a bit of a challenge, especially in the air.
And that'll be the thing, especially if, I'm sure we'll talk about it as the show goes on, but if we are leading late on and they start going very direct, Matt Smith and Vassell through the middle is going to cause a lot of problems.
With the likes of, sorry, I put my mic there, with the likes of Elliot Watt playing balls through as well. Yeah. He's a very, very talented player and someone I think won't stay at this level for too long, especially putting the numbers he is.
I mean, Salford are currently 8th in League 2. How do we feel about this, lads? Because I will still struggle because his voice goes right through me.
We'll jump some highlights while Ivor addresses this hospitality audience, testing Spike after we just praised him.
Yeah, so here are some highlights from our last couple of games, starting with the defeat to Rochdale about 10 days ago now.
It's the Dons against the Dale, and for the away side, it's absolutely imperative they take points from virtually every game from now until the end of the season if they're going to stand a chance of retaining their unbroken Football League status, which goes back 102 years to 1921 and approaching 100 seasons. Interim Dale boss Jim McNulty has a big job on his hands to pull off this great escape. For Wimbledon, they'll have another term in League 2 next campaign. It's the home side in possession early on, trying to build something, but this is Dale in yellow. Caught in possession on the edge of their box. It's a really, really good opportunity and a good start for Wimbledon. But it's misery of Rochdale's Wimbledon defender, but the visitors keeping the ball alive. Can they get a delivery in? Pulled back over to the back post and just going wide. Decent effort. Wimbledon start the day safe as houses in 16th place in League 2 standings. Comfortable 14 points above the drop zone. The Dons with just 7 matches remaining of their campaign. They're looking to finish it brightly though. And that was a bright attack. Right-footed corner from the home side, headed towards goal, and it's a save from O'Donnell. Wimbledon free kick on the left-hand side, right-footed, taken short, to the edge of the box, fired in, once again O'Donnell's behind it. Chislett it was with the shot. It was a much welcome victory. They're looking to add to it today. It bounces down and it's fired in towards goal, and it's eventually deflected over in southwest London. Rochdale with a rare opportunity in this second half to try to build something. Good possession this, keeping the ball very, very well. Shot from the edge of the box, it's a goal. The visitors Rochdale take the lead, and it's an incredibly well-crafted goal, finished off by Danny Lloyd. Brearley was heavily involved, and they lead here at Wimbledon. What a fillip this would be. No mistakes at the back can be allowed by Dale. And that just loops by. Have they got anything left in the tank to try to pursue and secure an equaliser? On the right-hand side of the penalty area, cutting in is substitute Pearson. Since he's been on the pitch, the Dons trying to create something on the left-hand side. Curled in right-footed, headed clear from inside their own 6-yard box by Rochdale, and there's the save by O'Donnell. That might just push Dale. Deep ball into the box, headed clear by that stout Rochdale defence, who have been excellent today. So can Wimbledon carve a late opening and a late equaliser? Great hands by O'Donnell. And that's it. Both sides went into the break level, but 20 minutes into the second period, the deadlock broken with an excellent goal from Rochdale's Danny Lloyd. This is a vital 3 points for the Scotland side and gives Dale fans hope. Full time, Wimbledon 0, Rochdale.
You understandably appeared frustrated throughout that one. What frustrated you the most about it?
I just think that it was a poor performance all round, to be honest. What frustrated me the most, probably our lack of bravery with the football. In the moments where we won it back in good areas, we didn't exploit it. We didn't use it well enough. We didn't make them defend. We didn't turn them. Didn't cross the ball when we had opportunities, which is it's disappointing because we got a great deal of success Tuesday night doing that. Making the opposition defend, and I think we let them off the hook in too many moments. And then when we did have those opportunities today, the quality was poor. Whether that was the cross, whether that was the shot, and in possession, I thought our quality was poor. So yeah, lots to be frustrated about.
It's a very frustrating game. We didn't execute what our actual plan was, obviously keep a clean sheet first and foremost, and secure a win. We need to go back to the drawing board and make sure that we have a clear set of minds of what we're trying to do, and the remainder of the games try and win every single game from now.
Do you feel that was much of a response to going behind?
No, not enough. Clearly, I think there was nothing in the game really beyond their shot. They haven't done anything, but they was in the game still, and we needed to respond. We didn't have it about us today. We was too flat. Wasn't front foot enough, and obviously we made changes to try and impact it. But piled a bit of pressure towards the end. They made some good blocks, but we haven't tested the goalkeeper enough, and hoping that something falls for us. But I don't think we could say that there was a good enough response after they did go ahead.
As a unit, we are annoyed at the fact that we conceded, we lost, and again we just have to go back and make sure that everything's out like the same as what we did on Tuesday, because on Tuesday we were a lot more aggressive in how we approach things, and we was a lot more clinical, so we didn't create as much chances as what we hoped for, but the chances that we had today could have secured us to win. So
can you just talk us through the substitutions? How close was Ali to missing out today?
Yeah, well, he's obviously got a whack, didn't he, on Tuesday night that was really sore right up until this morning, to be honest. So he was touch and go whether he'd even be involved. So we had to use him from the bench. brought him on there at the end, but obviously he's not 100%. Just hoping that he gets through and we'll get something out of him. But yeah, he wasn't 100% going into it.
You've got 3 weeks to come now. Which aspects do you feel like we need to improve on the most?
We need to improve on a lot today, but what's disappointing is Tuesday night we produced arguably one of our best performances of the season. 3 or 4 days later, it's the same team, same players, and we haven't been able to go again. And that was the challenge today that I set the boys. So there needs to be some soul searching from us all about like why have we not been able to replicate the performance. It's a different game, I get it, different opposition with different things, but I felt like there was lots missing today from what we showed Tuesday, and it's, if we want to be, players want to be consistent and get to good levels and higher levels, then you have to produce every week in, week out, not one good performance and then come off of it and then another good performance. That's not how football works if you want to get anywhere and be successful. So that's what I've learnt today. That's what I've learnt, that today the lads wasn't up to the challenge of going again for whatever reason that was, and we had a bit of a sort out there in the changing room, and we will do again Monday and find a way. We have to go to Harrogate and be better than we was today.
5-10 minutes. Sweet. There we go. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Harry Pell on my right, Nick Draper and Rob Boyce on my left. Harry, welcome back. How's the injury coming along?
It's going really well, actually. I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. So I've done, as I just said to you there, I've done 6.5k this morning, been put through it this morning. So just a few last boxes to tick, I think, and then I can be back out on the pitch, hopefully helping the lads.
Fantastic. And I mean, as we kind of chatted before we came live, but how much is that kind of an end goal for you now? How much inspiration does that give you to get back out there and get with the boys? Yeah,
obviously when I got the bad news about the injury itself, it was 6 to 8 weeks, and then you strip it back and you think, is that season over? And I always set a target of making an appearance before I come back, and people probably don't see it, but the work that I've done behind the scenes to get a little bit ahead of schedule, it's been quite relentless, really. Something I've embraced. I don't know if you can tell on here, but I've hit the gym a lot more. I feel like I've gained a little bit of shoulders. But no, it's been, you try and make a good situation out of a bad situation, and obviously, like, I'm just touch wood, everything goes all right. In the next week, I should be where I need to be.
Fantastic. And obviously, you rejoined us this summer after a spell with us back in 2013, so almost 10 years ago now. As we mentioned, obviously the training ground's very similar, but the pitch you play on is remarkably different. How's that been? Have you found coming back?
Listen, as soon as I walked through the gates here, it was literally breathtaking. It was unbelievable to see the way the club's progressed with that sort of stuff. Has been literally, I'm speechless. When you look out there, the stadium it's a pleasure to play on it. It's a pleasure to play in front of the fans, and obviously getting 8,000-9,000 it helps a lot, and it's something that definitely, when the opportunity come, it was something I wanted to get my teeth stuck into, and I was more than happy to come back.
Absolutely, and we spoke earlier on about being 10 unbeaten and that Leighton Orient game. Just how good was that with all the fans behind you? And I mean, you could, without being a bit too cliche, you cut the tension with a knife. It was so electric, wasn't it?
Yeah, that epitomises for me what Wimbledon should be. I think that night was special. The fans were off their chairs. The players performed. The whole club looked really strong. And obviously that is probably one of the highs of this season, that night, because I don't want to wish the season away, but obviously going into next season with a medium kind of plan, that needs to be every week. And I know the players need to perform for the fans to perform, the fans need to perform for the players to perform, but we need to find that kind of mediocre to have a real go. And it's been a little bit disappointing the way that the season's gone. You could sit here and you could write so many reasons for the reasons why it has. We'd be here for probably half an hour, but obviously injuries is one. It's a massive thing. Losing key players, it's not an ideal situation. Me being sat here at the end of the season with the points on the board that we've got.
Absolutely. I think we might have some of your goals to go over. This could be a real test of our editorial, but I don't know if Stuart created something for that, a graphic or.
I can. Whilst we're waiting to see if we do have this video, I was just thinking. So, how you mentioned there, obviously, your first spell with us back at Kings Meadow. I think you might have scored on your debut at Torquay, if I remember correctly. Do you remember what attracted you? Because you mentioned there about the Leyton Orient performance and that being a proper Wimbledon performance. What was it about Wimbledon? What attracted you to Wimbledon in the first place back then? Back under Neil Ardley, it would have been at the time.
Well, the history, obviously. You can go up and down the country, and every footballing fan will know the history of Wimbledon, and it's a remarkable story. And at the time, I wanted to be part of that. There was an opportunity for me to leave Hereford to come to Wimbledon the first time. And although I joined when we were in a relegation zone, and it was all literally about staying up, and obviously we managed to do it on the last day. It was absolutely fantastic.
Was that the Jack Mason penalty?
It was, yeah.
I think I did end up on the pitch. It can be a stadium man, but
it was unbelievable memories, unbelievable. And then obviously I left for one reason or another, Neil Ardley. No, but I left, and then obviously the opportunity to come back. That was great, and I took it with both arms. Yeah.
I mean, I must apologise. It wasn't your debut. What I'm talking about, it was the opening day of the season when you scored against Torquay.
I think it was your third goal. I think.
Yeah.
If my research is correct.
Yeah,
which it might not be.
Yeah, but I just remember the Torquay one for.
Oh wait.
Why not?
No, I think of Torquay a few seasons. I was a bit of a segue, a little change here, but I was mascot at Torquay the day Terry Brown was sacked, which I'm sure you can imagine was a really joyful experience for all involved.
Yeah,
so it's your fault then.
Yeah,
it's all Tom's fault.
If in doubt, blame me. Gone from Sack George to Sack Tom.
Sack Tom.
Sorry, just a comment there from Paul Campbell. Greetings from Galway City on the Atlantic west coast of Ireland. Hello, Paul. He's a regular viewer, so hello. And if you've got any questions, guys, give us a shout. There you go. Good morning from Nebraska. Worldwide, we are.
We are worldwide. Global audience.
Sound like our next skipper.
There you go.
Be fine, Alex Woodjar for the armband.
Alex Woodjar's the captain, but I appreciate your comments.
But yeah, heading back sort of kind of your time before with us, and then I think you dropped down into non-league. You were kind of in I think conference team of the league.
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham, yeah.
Cheltenham, yeah.
And then kind of from Cheltenham, what was it? Obviously you went to Accrington and
Colchester before that, wasn't it?
And then Accrington,
and
yeah.
Then to Accrington,
you scored.
Yeah, sorry.
You scored a couple of free kicks at Accrington, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, a couple against the gaffer actually at Cheltenham. That was a good night.
Ethan for dead.
You know what? I come in when I first come. I thought there's no one getting me off the ball, and then I started seeing Ethan Chislett strike a ball from a set piece, and I just found myself getting further and further at the back of the queue. So funny enough, when he was taking them free kicks, me and Ethan have a great relationship on and off the pitch.
You can see it on the pitch.
He's a great lad. Yeah. He really is a great guy. And so every time he'd go to take a free kick, I'd always say to him, "Cheers, I've got this." And he'd go, no, I've got it. And I'm like, right, okay. And he put it in the top corner. Ever since then, even after that, I'd always go to him and say, I'll take this. He's like, no, I have to take this. It's like superstition on the pitch. And he'd do it, and then we'd do that silly celebration. And he's a great player. It's just a shame. I don't know if the team's been announced, have they?
Yeah.
Gutted to not see him on the team sheet today. The thing with Chiz is, when we were in that good run, I think at times he was unplayable. And I know he's his biggest critic, Chiz, because he's very hard on himself. And I think that he dropped off a little bit. And then literally to see him back in amongst the goals last game was very important for himself and very important for the team, because I think the team do really rely on Chiz a lot. He's got enormous quality, and like I said, he's an absolutely fantastic lad.
Absolutely, I think we've noticed that from kind of when he kind of operates more through the middle. I think he kind of sees his effect more on the game from a kind of a tactical point of view, and that's something I've definitely noticed as a fan. Obviously, Casey taken from here today. What have kind of been your thoughts on Casey McAteer and the loan boys coming in? Obviously, with their first loans, first step into football. Yeah,
listen. Before I come in, I got to be honest. I think that we miss Ayub massively. I thought he brought a dimension to this team that I don't think many players could really bring to like a certain individual into a whole team. He was like our go-to man. He cheated like hell, by the way. So no, on the pitch, honestly, you defend with a man less, he'd cheat. And I think that it epitomised in that good run. It was literally Josh was up top, and you had Ayub literally that would cheat, and he was like a second striker, and he started scoring all of his goals, me and behind. And I've just thought literally get the ball to Ayub. He was a real threat, and I think that we've really missed him. Again, I'm going on to my reasons here. I don't really want to, but there's Riley Taylor. I think was a big miss. I think he had enormous quality. He come in as the softest young lad, got in and around the boys, and you could see every day he just grew. And I have no doubt he'll go on and have a really, really successful career because he's got a level head. He's a great lad, and he's got really good attributes and good quality.
I've got a couple of mates that are Pompey fans, and I think they've fallen in love with him instantly.
Yeah.
It's someone I'd love to have seen come here permanently. I think he was, he stepped in with almost an assurance, didn't he? And he looked so confident on the ball. And I think it kind of showed in January. We lost a couple of those players, especially for a few of our loanies that got recalled and derailed us a little bit, I think. And there was a little bit of a struggle, but hoping we can get back on it today with Salford and kind of get playing back the football we know we can and go back to that run, obviously, where we went 10 unbeaten.
I mean, could I ask Harry?
Go on, mate, anything. No worries, go on.
One of the more awkward questions, but our viewers will be wondering about this because we've just come into this game with a point away at Harrogate. We're 2-0 up and we've thrown away. And it's been made a lot of about the fact that we lose the amount of leads we've lost this season.
Rightly so, by the way.
Is it?
It is rightly so.
How does that affect the guys on the pitch? Is it something that's always in the back of their mind? Like, would that have been in the back of the guys' minds on Friday?
Yeah, I've spoke to a couple of people about this. It's hard not to go back to the unbeaten run because that's our positive of the season, But when I was going into games in that unbeaten run, there was no way that we were losing on that day. And I know it sounds really... I don't know what the word is, but it sounds like when you go into a game and you mentally and you're in a really good place and the club's in a really good place and then all of a sudden you're ticking wins off, you're not getting beat, on to the next one. That same effect can go the other way. So, we might be up against it and fans are getting on our back. And, I'm always ones for... fans pay their money and they have their right to do that. And players need to. If you don't want to face that, then there's no point being a professional footballer. But in the hard times, there is that element of doubt that right, we haven't won in 3, we need to win. And rightly so, because if you're going to be successful in this league, you can't go back-to-back losses. The same as that you need the. I think over the course of the season, how many times have we gone 3 games with a winning run? I don't think it's many. And these things, obviously, going into next year, they do need to change. And I can only be honest, and I really do want the best for the football club, but I think that we do need to really kick on next year, and I'm sure that there's, I know Copesy's come in, there's going to be an element of change around the training ground, around the way that they're going to go about it, which is great, and but obviously I see it myself, the 30 points lost from winning positions and stuff like that, it does play a part, and if you're going to do anything, that most definitely can't happen, so that's something that we need to improve on. But the whole group, mentality-wise, I think that needs to change. That needs to be improved most definitely.
I mean, the group seems really united, though. I don't think even in since the turn of the year when results haven't been as good, the group still seems really together.
You know what, mate? I have to say, we've not been on the best of runs, but this is a group that I'll have to be honest that there's not one bad egg, and I've been in change room. There's bad eggs, and it probably comes with us being relatively young, and even around the training ground and stuff, we might be on a bad run, but you would never really notice it with the lads. If anything, I think the lads are probably too honest. That we need to get back to winning games, and hopefully that starts today. This isn't going to be easy, by the way. But yeah, it's a great group, and if you take the season as a whole, I really do believe that in moments that we had the quality and we had the camaraderie, the togetherness to actually kick on. But then you look at them injuries, you look at losing key players, and no matter what team you are, it's very difficult. And sometimes the ship's heading in different directions. And it was no coincidence for me that when we was playing our best stuff, we had a settled 11. Everything was consistent, and I have to feel for the gaffer in that way, because the injuries that we've had, I've never known it at any football club, and it is. And again, going back to the lads, these boys don't want to be injured. I see how they work hard every single day to get back, and it's just one of them things in football that I personally believe has killed us big time. Yeah.
Well, I remember we were talking about mentality. We had Lee Brown on the show earlier in the season, and he spoke very kind of strongly about how strong kind of everyone in the group was. Yeah. And he said, I mean, I'll go back to what he said. He said that a dressing room before we'd seen similar to that was one that got promotion, and a team that went on, and we went on to be 10 unbeaten, and we really were showing strong signs. And I think the biggest tell for me was, Nick Zanev and Paul Calumbai, as soon as there was any sort of incident with players on the pitch, they were straight there back in. And I mean yourself. I mean, usually you're quite involved in a bit of a bit of a shuffle, but and then obviously everyone backs around you and kind of gets involved.
Yeah, and it's so easy to say, oh yeah, we were really good when you're winning games. It's when it goes the other way that it's hard for people to actually see. Right, okay, let's strip it back. Why is this? Why is this happening? And like I said to you, I'm the most upset that I'm sitting here. I'm not in the team. what were you, 18th, and no one wanted this at the start of the year, but it's one of them that you can't change the past now, and it is tough to take. I come here to, I'll be honest, I come here to get promoted. That's what the first thing I said to the gaffer, and at times in the season I thought that we was heading in the right direction. I remember going into, and I think I got dropped for the Northampton game, and we drew at Northampton, and we were right in the mix, and then, like I said, the injuries started to come, and then it was like we've come up against it a little bit. But yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what the club are going to do this summer with recruitment and the improvements that we're going to do. And I'm not looking too far ahead. Don't get me wrong. I want to be back and playing games, but yeah, it's a really important time for the football club because, listen, I know the fans, I know the management, I know the players. We all want the same thing, and I think with a little minor adjustments, then hopefully we can have a right go next year.
Lovely stuff. And someone who's been important, this season, just talk about kind of this season looking into next. Ethan Chislett, 11 goals. I think he's our leading goal scorer. There you go, he is, as the graphic would say if I read it all. Obviously yourself there. Obviously players that are still with us. Obviously Ayub Assal was up there with Josh Davison with 3 goals this year. How important have those goals been?
Yeah, massive. That's what I'm talking about. A little bit of quality from Chiz. I love Ali. I think he gives us a different dimension. I think that we've signed a really, really good player. One for the future and for now. I know that he'll score goals at this level, and I think it's a real coup for the club that we've managed to sign him. Josh is our battering ram. He works his absolute gonads. Can I say that? Yeah, absolute gonads off every week. And yeah, but you look at me there. I'm 3. That's not good enough. No, I'm being honest. That's not good enough.
From distance.
Yeah, there's not. We need to close that gap with midfielders, and then obviously the front boys, and we need to be seeing defenders on there.
Obviously second, so
yeah, but
you stay on the table, luckily.
Yeah, but maybe not enough people have chipped in with goals. Yeah, and that's something that obviously we need to take a look at, and we need to take ownership. And
I think one of the things the fans are looking forward to next season is Josh Davison and Ali playing up front together. Like, we've not really seen that this season because obviously Josh, since Ali came in, Josh has got injured. But I do feel like we've got a good foundation. Obviously, you coming back next season. Like I said, Josh, Ali, Bilair, if he can get himself fit. So we've got a good core of players next season, and I think with the fans, we're kind of looking just to get to the end of the season. Is it the same with the squad where we're just looking to get to the end of the season now, clean slate, kick on again next season?
Yeah, I think at this stage of the season where we're at, I think that's what we have to. I think that what we're trying to do is we're trying to finish the season as strong as what we possibly can. People are playing for contracts. People, even in contracts, want to stay here, whatnot. So, it's a real important time. The handbrake isn't been, pulled up or anything on the season, most definitely. So, no, we're in a real important time still. And then I'm with you as well because I'm excited to see what the club are going to do next season with recruitment, like I said, and things like that where we can improve.
One final question before we round things up with you, Harry. Social media, you seem to have wound up a lot of opposition fans and clubs this year. How big a part of that of your game, and how much do you enjoy it?
I've got to be honest, if I haven't got that, that's what I come to work every day for. I'm the biggest wind-up merchant, but when I'm on the pitch, I think it's them 1% that, I've done it all my career, and I'm 31 now, played nearly 500 games, so I'm most definitely not going to bloody stop, I'll tell you that.
I think that's a fantastic point to leave it. I think we have got a video for some highlights to jump into. There we go. Thank you very much.
Harrogate Town against AFC Wimbledon brings 20th up against 16th. On 7 points above Harrogate Town in the table, but having played a couple of games more, it is the home side more nervously looking over their shoulders. 4 points clear of second bottom Hartlepool, with a game in hand on them, hoping to stretch that gap today. Continue some relatively promising recent form that's helped them pull away from danger, picking up 8 points from their last 5 league games. Deep, and then sent forward, and all of a sudden a chance emerges. Good save needed by Broom, and then back towards goal, and Broom is alert again. A 2-0 home victory against Walsall in late March. 4 draws and 8 losses. And we go with Jayasemi. Switching feet, a little deflection, just wide. Nightingale. Oh, what a ball that is, crossfield. And what a touch that is as well from Pearson, who gets the 1-2. Now with a shot, appeals for handball, it doesn't matter! Chislett scores! AFC Wimbledon in front. It all comes from that brilliant pass by Nightingale. Plucked out of the sky by Pearson, who then links up beautifully, gets the return. Chislett, whilst others were busy appealing for the penalty, tucked it away. Chislett, oh, not far away. Chislett sets it wide. Pearson. Still Pearson. Pearson shot. Corner to AFC Wimbledon. Dinked in. Reached away initially. And back towards goal and 2-0. Chislett again. Just before the hour mark. AFC Wimbledon take complete control of this one. Awkward finish in the sense that he was falling over as he did it, but it was a very clever improvised one. 2-0, right on course now for first away win in 10 it would be. As Folds puts it in, can Harrogate get one back? That's the return ball. Shot in the last 15 minutes or so of this one. Running out of time rapidly. Little slipped ball through. Could be a chance to get one back. They have. Game right on. Stoppage time. One over hit. Still there for Harrogate. And the cross comes back in. And suddenly AFC Wimbledon are really hanging on. Oxley's come up from the corner. In it comes. And it's in. They've done it. Levi Sutton in the 8th minute of stoppage time. Harrogate Town have rescued a point.
I can imagine you feel devastated by the way that game finished today.
Yeah, of course, yeah. To concede as late as we did over the time, the way that we conceded, obviously, yeah, really disappointing.
There we go. There was highlights from our 2-2 draw with Harrogate on Good Friday and a few moments of Johnny Jackson and his reaction. I'm joined to my right by George Jones,
Hello.
My left by Nick Draper, and my far left by Stuart Deakins. We're going to kind of go into the run-ups kickoff now as we approach. I didn't realise how long we were talking to Harry Pell for. Yeah, I thought he was sound though. I thought he was
another 20 minutes.
Yeah, easily. But yeah, so around the grounds today. Obviously, we take on Salford. They're top of the list. We're in 18th. Salford in 8th. 10 points take us apart, but it's only 13 points, which you think at this start of the season between 8th and 18th would be.
Sorry for anyone confused. Tom's confused as well because I'm laughing away. It's because Stu and I couldn't really see the fixtures behind the iPad.
So we were like some great away fixtures.
And I saw Rochdale away at somebody field, and I was thinking, Earls Field? Like who? And Mansfield, of course. But yeah,
there's some interesting fixtures.
Earls Field is close today. Yes,
there's some interesting fixtures there today.
It really is. Yeah.
I'm looking at Northampton, who have gone second.
Stevenage going to Hartlepool. Hartlepool for me, you go there, it's a bit 0-0. Banker 0-0, sorry.
Well, Hartlepool won, didn't they, on Easter?
Yeah, the bottom two have been putting in good form.
Do teams win? We said this before. Do teams win both back to back?
Really?
Rochdale need that. If you look at Rochdale and Hartlepool both got maximum points. But yeah, the playoffs. We go to Stevenage next week. I think Stevenage should use something like 4 or 5 goalkeepers as well this league.
Yeah, they've got a new guy on loan from.
They've got
all at once. Yeah,
one time. Right.
They've got 3 strikers, 5 goalkeepers.
Breaking some rules there, surely.
Yeah, no, they've been really unlucky with injuries. Actually, they had I think did Toby Saven join them from Accrington on loan? Then he got extended. It was a 7-day loan. He got extended about 4 times. Then they had John McCracken from Norwich who recently got injured. And then they've had a new keeper from somewhere in a higher division. My knowledge, unfortunately, doesn't go that far. But yeah, they've Stephen have had loads of keepers. And then I think we just got a graphic about to come up about Testing spike there. Graphic there about the home and away form with Johnny Jackson and the Salford boss, who I should know his name.
Neil Wood.
Neil Wood, there we go. Just about time scored. And again, it's...
If you didn't know his name, Neil Wood.
Anyways. It's quite interesting that a lot of their goals scores conceded our first half compared to us being the second half.
Different.
Wow.
Yeah, usually it's always like
Yeah.
50 to 60, isn't it? I mean, ours falls
Score a
into.
lot of goals.
I did realise yesterday during the game, I said that so many goals all the time we see is because our one's always the same, so there's always going to be 54 and 56. So that's why I see it so much. But yeah, and they lead and trail half time
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you look at their attacking output and the options they've got, and you're not really surprised by that. They've just got such a plethora of talent, which I guess having a budget like they do, you can kind of afford that.
It's a real mixed bag of recent results, though, isn't it? Like to lose away at Crewe, they'd have been really disappointed with that one. But then Stevenage, they went and won there, so strange.
They have Orient. Sorry, is that Orient at Orient's place or at Salford's place?
That was at Salford on Friday. So
I guess beating Leighton Orient home isn't for everyone, is it?
And I'm just thinking, Matt Smith, when he plays on the bench, is he starting? I haven't seen him.
No, he's on the bench. Yeah.
I think it's turned on, but I didn't actually pay attention. But he's a threat. Comes off the bench and scores, as you can see, 9 goals, but isn't a regular starter with Den. It's a strong team.
Connor McElhaney and Callum Hendry both starting. I think Callum Hendry was recently Player of the Month, or put in the contention for Player of the Month, which is never a good sign when you go into a team when they've got 2 players in it. I think he was alongside Elliot Watt as well.
Callum Hendry, of course, got a smudge number of goals this season.
Yeah, that's
Just a few.
Not checking it. It's good to see you lot. I think the interesting thing is Salford, possession-wise, always keep a lot of possession.
They keep possession, and I was saying earlier, they play down the wings. It seems to hold in the middle and then go down the wings, which will give Isaac and Jack Harris there a bit of a tough challenge. I think in regards to that, I don't know if a Lee Brown would have been more defensively suited to that, but look, I'm not Johnny Jackson. It's a tough old job to be. So he's part of the best team possible. Jack Harry, I'm sure. Look, I think he's got something up there with one of the most interceptions or tackles in the league. So he's not bad, defensively, and he can give us, as George loves to tell me every week, he can give us that attacking output that we need and kind of connect up with. Who playing out left today? It'll be
probably Jayasimi on the left.
Yeah. So
in terms of their stats, it's quite interesting. So second top goal scorers in League Two. One or more goals scored in the last 5 away games, and third in the form table.
At least we see some goals today. That's exciting.
So
there'll be goals.
It's a tough fixture. It's a tough fixture.
Yeah. It is a tough game. I'm 2 wins out of 18. Ugh, dear me. Why do we keep putting ourselves through it?
Let's look at the positive. The 2 wins.
Yes, that is actually, funny enough. One of which Harry Pell, who we just went to, scored the winner in, of course, back in January.
Yeah, of course.
His last goal this season.
Scary.
That's a long time ago. But
right, should we jump into some predictions?
Yeah.
George, we'll go for you because you're
just set it up.
Yeah. You're positive. What, 8-0?
I'd be happy if we score. I think it's going to be a 3-1 defeat.
Okay. I'll be happy if we score.
I love that.
This is rare.
This is rare. I mean, the thing is, it's like Stu was just saying, teams very rarely, over a double-header weekend like this, very rarely either lose both or win both. Yeah. The extremes will be the teams near the top of the table and at the bottom of the table. So Leighton Orient probably have got a good chance of winning both games over this weekend. For example, Rochdale actually bottom of the league, actually won on Friday, might struggle today. We drew on Friday, so this is a complete open season. So you never know what can happen.
They've thrown your stat out the window now.
Thrown my stat out the window, but Salford lost. So it does seem to me a draw is not out of the question for me today. Yeah. What I would say is the last time we were on the show against Rochdale, everyone was so confident of a victory. I predicted a defeat because I thought that would just make sure the football gods don't. And then we did actually lose. So can you all predict us to lose today, and I'll predict us to win, and then hopefully
try and chance fate.
Yeah, hopefully fate will fall our way. I don't know what that means for a prediction.
I didn't get a prediction.
4-all.
4-all. Nice. And Stu, you get a prediction.
I was just thinking myself when I looked at it, the last 2 home games we've lost 1-0 and haven't scored.
Positive.
What? No, what? Walsall, surely.
Oh. I was thinking Rochdale and someone else.
Who did we lose to before?
Why did I get the 1-0? Crawley.
Saturdays.
Walsall's
but today's a Monday, so that doesn't even matter.
So we have lost 2 games without scoring. That sort of, I think we've had 2 games in the last 3 home games here we haven't scored at all. So that's a bit of a concern. I think we do well to get away with a draw today. I'll be honest with you, I think Salford are on. Salford got something to play for. We are not on form.
Well, I'm going against all of you, and I'm going for a win. I think Ace McAteer for the middle is going to be instrumental, and Sam Pearson, who I've got a lot of love for. He's starting today, so I think he'll be good today. And Nick Zanev is back on the bench. We love Nick Zanev.
I was just about to say about the bench though. As Stuart's often said this season, how many games this season have been determined by the options available on the bench? And you look at Salford and you look at us in terms of attacking options today, and you kind of start to go.
Well, Nick Zanev played right wing in a pre-season friendly in January, so needs must. And on that note, we will make it down to our seats at Plough Lane, and hopefully I will join you after the game for a post-match debrief. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Rob Boyce, and a big shout out to Harry Pell, and of course Spike.